Hello, so today we're going to be going over a scrap game. This is going to be a VOD review. There's some of you, they're very polarizing. I think there's generally less interest in VOD reviews on my channel, but a lot of you really like the VOD reviews and find that they help you to learn. So I'm going to try and sprinkle in a couple of VOD reviews, especially when I don't have time to make a proper full-length guide. So today I was out, so I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to go over a scrap game. I'm sure some people have probably asked about it. A lot of times people look at it. Scrap is one of the more popular lines this patch. I think it's like the go-to default line, especially if you have a good spot for it, because it has less conditions than some of the other comps, and it's also a little bit less reliant on the 5 cost that's associated with the trait, which makes it really favorable in the current patch. I want to just note, this game's going to seem like a little bit of a high roll-ish game. It's because it is Warwick's Hunger, so it's going to be a little bit awkward, so we will talk about it. So looking at my options here, I'm just taking Prize Fighter because I think I have a very strong opener. I don't recommend taking Prize Fighter. This is going to be a very feast or famine style game. The reason for that, as you can see, I'm just making items and I'm slamming them early. The reason it's going to be so aggressive is because it's a Warwick's Hunger game. So a lot of your placement and a lot of your ability in order to do well in this lobby is not only to high roll, but also to play very aggressively, because you have to make sure that you're killing units in order to get cash outs. Lose streaking is something you can't really plan on doing a lot of times in Warwick's Hunger. You just have to slam as many components as you can, play a comp that spikes really early. So in this case, I'm holding on to scrap units and I have these upgraded frontline units that are really strong. I take an augment that's not necessarily the best one, but I'm trying to pick an augment that makes me strong in the current, like exactly like right now. Prize Fighter helps me to kind of steamroll with like a strong lead. It's not exactly something that makes me strong now. I'd definitely take like a combat or even a strong econ augment over it. But judging from my options, I decided to just take Prize Fighter because I'm like, I have a strong enough board. I can get some component cash outs and continue to play towards some sort of default or strong line. I make a Gwinsu here just because like of my component slams. So I didn't make Gwyn. I think Gwinsu's a little bit stronger than making a Last Whisper, and because of the leftover components that I was gonna have. So instead I decided to make a Gwinsu here. I'm trying to upgrade as many units as possible, make sure that I'm as strong as possible to win these rounds because it's Warwick's Hunger. And then I'm trying to figure out, okay, am I playing Scrap? Am I playing Double Stab? But then with my components, I made Even Shroud, which isn't necessarily the greatest item, but Even Shroud what's it called? Even Shroud with Gwinsu felt like my strongest slam given the units that I have. But anyways, if you like my content, please make sure to like and subscribe in case I didn't tell you guys to do that already. But like I said, this is going to be me trying to play around Scrap. When you're playing around Scrap, you typically want to just have as many items as possible. A lot of times, like the Scrap board will look something along the lines. Let me just figure out what I'm doing. Something like Team Builder. So when you're playing Scrap, I've done a couple Scrap guys, I've talked a lot about it, but typically you're just trying to play around playing as many Scrap units as possible. Getting to 6 Scrap is where you're not playing Scrap. If you're playing a Scrap dedicated board, you're not usually playing less than 6 Scrap. The idea behind 6 Scrap is that your components become lucky and you convert all of your extra components into completed items that are on the unit. So this helps you out a lot in order to cap out your board really high. And if you're playing in a galaxy where there are going to be lots of cash outs, or there is going to be a high amount of econ and items, then Scrap works really well. A lot of the more random encounters, the ones that feel more random, are ones where they pump you with a lot of resources. Scrap takes advantage of that because if you get extra items, you convert it to more shield, and the more shields you have, the stronger your Scrap units will be, because they'll just be like this impenetrable wall of frontline that is so difficult to crack with their huge health shields. So a lot of times you're trying to play around Corki and Echo. A lot of times with Corki, you're just trying to build around crit items. The reason is when components become lucky, there is a thing where the recommended items is where they draw these lucky components from. So what you want to do is you want to pick items where you can kind of guarantee 1 or 2 options on the unit. So for example, if you put a belt on Corki, where is it? A belt. It will always turn into a guard breaker because in Corki's recommended, the only item that uses a belt is a guard breaker. And I talk about this in my Scrap guide, even though it's a little bit outdated because it's on a previous patch. So because you know that you can guarantee a guard breaker on Corki, a lot of times it benefits to build around crit items, and you could go like a full crit build, something like this very often. Similarly with Echo, a tier will always turn into a Hand of Justice. So a lot of times you play around crit because he's Ambusher. You get inter-team synergy with Ambusher for free. So you try and build around that crit glove. You know that he's going to have a Hand of Justice. So a lot of times, you know, if you have extra rod items because you're playing more around AD, prioritizing Corki items, you can end up with like damage amp to augment that crit chance. So something like a Rabadon's is really strong on Echo, for example. Also just base stats in general because he has the crit on his ult. already from his built-in ambusher trait. The board is really flexible as well. A lot of times when you're playing around scrap, if you're playing around 6 scrap, you can play multiple different things. A lot of times you're playing GP backline, you put everybody in the front line to take advantage of the health shield. A lot of times you don't have rumble and you're going to have zigs for a while, which is totally fine, but let's just assume you have a rumble. Finding rumble early is going to be massive in order to win out, because getting the extra rumble upgrades is what's really going to cap your board very high. So a lot of times you want to roll really aggressively on level 8 because you have a lot to roll for, right? Upgrading Corki, upgrading Echo, and even finding a rumble. These are all strong things you can do on level 8. In some other cases, you can play around Gangplank, but depending on who you're playing around, you know, if you have upgraded Gangplank, he's a good item holder in backline. If you want to play around Corki, then you can play around Corki. You have different things you can do here, right? Depending on who your main carry is. Putting in extra ambushers is usually beneficial, or even Firelight for Echo, so you can always just put in one of those. But typically when you're trying to cap out your board really high, it just helps to play around legendary units, so something like a Jace to get Form Swapper in, even an Elise. Playing 4 Form Swapper is very strong, especially if you're playing around Gangplank carry and you have like a Jace that you could play around. If not, you're usually playing Elise for Bruiser synergies, and then you want to play some sort of Sentinel. So a lot of times you play like Elise, Alora's just for synergies, and a Vi because of the stunning is just really beneficial. A lot of times you'll see boards like these, but basically anybody that you can help to synergize to make your main damage dealers do more damage. Scrap is something that's going to give you a lot of frontline, so you don't really care too much about making more frontline or making more like tankiness a lot of the time. Splashing in a couple little traits like, you know, 2 Sentinel or 2 Bruiser helps augment the board, but typically you're trying to prioritize some more damage, so try and get some synergies in to boost these guys' damage a little bit as well. So now let's go back to the game. I kind of skipped a little bit over stage 2. I'm going to go back a little bit because this is where this game is extremely high roll. So as you can see, I'm just pushing levels and I'm trying to play around these strong units that I have. I have all of these Stebs. I'm not necessarily going to reroll and play Maddie's Steb reroll because I don't believe in it as being that strong, and I think that I'm going to fall off eventually. I was blessed with a strong opener, which is going to be a main reason of why I do well in this galaxy. As you can see, I'm level 5 making 10 gold. I am richer than most people in the lobby because I'm killing the most units in the lobby. I'm winning every single round. And in doing so, I am guaranteeing that I'm getting continual, like, feeding my gold from Warwick's hunger. So I'm incentivized to continue pushing, right? A lot of times if you're not in a galaxy where it's giving you these type of cash outs, playing very aggressively could be a huge deficit. Scrap is pretty good because you can actually like kind of win out with Scrap even if you're like lose streaking. It's pretty good at like turning the ship around, especially if you have a lot of items. As you can see with my early items, I was thinking more along the lines of maybe playing any AD, maybe more Twitch I was angling, because Twitch is pretty good out of tempo a lot of the time. But here, I hit a Corki early. Gwynsu isn't the best on Corki, but it is what it is. You have to slam items as aggressively as possible early game, so I'm just going to play around this Corki. I can now fit in 4 Scrap as well, so I even power up my shields with the 4 Scrap, and I convert multiple components. So this is what's going to be my mid-game board. Like I said, it's obviously going to be a high-roll game. I was pushing levels, I was playing aggressively. And as you can see, I'm pretty much equally as strong as other people in the lobby, and I'm equally as rich because there's no deficit to playing strongest board. A lot of times when you're playing really strong, the scary part is that later in the game, you run out of like steam, and then you can just plummet like a rock. Because you sacrifice a lot of econ in order to push levels and in order to upgrade units, in order to buy expensive units. Here I have 2 upgraded frontline units, a Corki, and I'm making 20 gold, and I'm level 5. Right? It's like there's a clear disparity, and that's mostly because of the encounter. So the reason I'm mentioning it is not to like bitch. I'm not trying to like complain. I know I complain a lot about Warwick's, and now I'm showing you a game where I'm doing well in Warwick's. I still think it's a bad encounter. It's the main reason why I don't play as much TFT as I do, because this encounter is just so frustrating, especially when you don't have a good spot. Here I have a good spot, so obviously I'm doing a VOD review on it, but I'm doing it mostly because this was the only scrap game I could find in the last like couple days that I played. So that's the only reason I'm showing it. I understand it's a bit high roll, but I'm just trying to let you guys know that it's high roll so that, you know, as a learning resource, as a learning experience, we can kind of pick out what parts were high roll, and then pick out the decision making, and then pick out like why I'm angling certain comps the way that they are. So a big reason to play Scrap, especially right now in this galaxy, is because it's really good tempo early because I'm converting components into items. So it's quite strong, especially if you have some upgraded units. Here I have a Corki, so I'm definitely just going to play around the Corki that I got. And additionally, what makes it really nice, Scrap, is that with Warwick, sometimes you get dropped components. So on average, you're going to have more components in a Warwick encounter. It's the same with like something like Scuttle Puddle and Loot Sub and all of these other encounters. A lot of times just having extra components, extra things to put on the units is going to strengthen your scrap shield. If you look already, right, I have 3 completed items. I have Prize Fighter, so I got an extra component because of Prize Fighter. And then I have 3 components. I have 3 items, 3 components. How many is that? That's like 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 components right now. Look, I get so much shield. I am so far ahead of the lobby because they're not capable of dealing with this. Like my front line is equivalent to like having like 2 or 3 extra units of HP on my board. Like look, my units haven't even, like my Trundle has not just, he's not even below 100 HP yet. Like they just cracked his shield by the end of the fight. The only person that's taking damage is the Steb, who doesn't have a scrap shield. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, it's very strong in these type of situations. Especially if I can hit 6 scrap. I already have a Corki. If I get a scrap +1, the game's over. But we'll see what we get here. Because it's Warwick, we want to take the strongest thing. We want to continue to play strong. So here, Bronze for Life, if I'm playing vertical scrap, I'm not going to get much value off of that. Epoch is okay. I think maybe Epoch is takeable. I'm just looking for combat because I'm already 100 streaking. So right now, it's like, what do I want the most? It's either Bulky Buddies or Pyromania. It's definitely not Golemify, so I just take Pyromania. I maybe could have taken Epoch if I really wanted to because I might need more gold. But right now, I'm level 650 gold because I just have the gold injection from Warwick's encounter. So I feel like my econ is okay. This comp obviously needs a lot of gold because you're playing around 2-4 costs, right? You're playing around Echo and Corki a lot of the time. And you also have to find a Rumble. And a lot of times you need Elise and Vi in order to stabilize. So it is a very expensive board. So obviously like econ is really important. Not having an econ might be bad. But I just want to continue to be strong. It synergizes with Warwick's encounter. It synergizes with Prize Fighter. So here I take Pyromania. It gives me anti-heal. So now I don't have to worry about making anti-heal. And additionally, it's equivalently giving me like an extra boost in power. I can always put this red buff on a Gangplank or a Corki later in the game, so I feel pretty comfortable around playing. I feel pretty comfortable about taking that Augment. Though it may be a little bit of a better choice. It's a little bit hard to tell. I think there's a good argument to take Epoch, and there's a good argument to take Bulky Buddies. The reason I don't really care about Bulky Buddies too much is because I already have so much scrap shield that it kind of equivalently feels like I have a lot of HP on my board. So I'm not sure how effective it is to take more HP. Like I think my bulkiness of my board is good enough, especially right now. That's why I didn't really consider Bulky Buddies in that mix. But that's my thought process, right? Of course, there's an argument that maybe it's wrong and I should do something different. I can agree with that 100%. I'm not sure if Pyromania is even that strong. It used to be really broken when Ziggs was broken. Like Pyromania on Ziggs was like a guaranteed 10 streak, and you can like carry a Ziggs 2 in stage 4 a lot of the time. I understand that it got nerfed, like overall, like the whole thing got nerfed, and Ziggs especially got a bunch of nerfs, so he's not what he used to be like 1 or 2 patches ago. But you know, it's okay. Here, I could greed and level, but I scouted and I didn't think that anybody that was playing was particularly strong. So I decided to just sit and instead of leveling for Urgot, I decided to just sit on level 6 here and just make sure that I make my 50 gold. Typically, if you're win streaking like this and you're trying to protect a 7 streak, it is in your best interest to level the next turn. So ideally, I should have leveled, like, you know, there's an argument that I could level here, but when I scouted, the people that I looked like I was fighting in my pool didn't seem particularly strong. So I'm greeting just this turn because I know I'm going to kill units anyways. And then I can go to level 7 next turn without sacrificing my econ. It's a little bit of a greedy play to make sure that I have enough gold to hit my Echo and my Corki later. That's at least my thought process right now. Also, I'm just going to double check the music isn't too loud. I had somebody say the music was loud one day, so now I'm paranoid because sometimes it switches out. What happens is when I switch earbuds, I have earbuds that I use for streaming that goes into like my volume mixer and my mic mixer so I can hear everything. And then I have earbuds that are just like wireless ones that I listen music on because they're just better for music. They sound better. But those ones, when I switch earbuds, because I'm using an audio interface, sometimes the audio gets severely skewed, and that's why sometimes the music is the wrong volume for you guys, which is my bad, but you know, that's just so to speak. So behind the curtain stuff for you fans out there. I might start doing behind the scenes stuff a little bit for members only. I'm trying to think of fun members only content because there's a couple of you that are trying to support me through memberships, and I think that's like, you know, I'm grateful and thank you so much for doing that. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, what can I do to make it like a little bit more enticing for you guys? Because like if you're supporting me, even if it's like supposed to be a one-time membership donation, I still want there to be like a plethora of resource for you guys to like get something out of it. So you're not just like paying me money for no reason. So I'm trying to work on some member stuff. I think I'm going to do like some behind the scenes stuff and some more like VOD reviews and that type of stuff. I already uploaded a VOD review of me doing poorly in a game. I'm going to try and do like a VOD review of one of my bad games every other day for members. So that's something that's on the works. While we take this little time. Wait, there's not much to talk about here. I'm just high rolling my ass off. Can you see this shit? I have a Corki on stage 2. I had a Corki on stage 2 on 5 scrap. It's like the only thing that can make me stronger is 6 scrap, so I'm looking for Echo. You know what I mean? I'm level 750 gold. Like, what is this? What is this encounter? Like, I'm getting annoyed watching myself play. It's like thank God I was the one that high rolled, because trust me, like 1 out of every 4 games that you play in Warwick is not gonna look like this. I found an Elise as well. Like, holy like, I think I'm really curious to see how I didn't win this game. That's the only thing, because scrap does cap pretty high, so I'm curious as to who beat me. Like, I don't, or if somebody beat me. I don't know if I go first this game. I don't remember going first because it's been a while since I got it first, and this was a recent VOD, so I'm assuming I go like second or third here, but I'm curious how I throw this, which will be interesting for all of us. So stay tuned if you're a hate watcher, especially, because things are gonna, I'm definitely gonna be messing up somewhere along the lines here. Oh, this is scary. Do I lose against this? I'm on wrong side here. Okay, that's a big mistake. So I should be on opposite side. So, ooh, maybe I think I still win. I should still win. Okay, I still win. I was gonna say, it worked out really well because my Corki, as you saw, he strafed towards the left. I would have rather, if you see an Archangels, with the amount of front line that I have, I should just definitely target towards the side that has the Archangels to make sure that the Vex doesn't like ramp up the Archangels. Right? Because if the Vex gets like max stacks Archangel and then she just one-shots everybody, that's the only way I can lose that fight. Now, obviously, it wasn't even close, but I'm just saying, like, I should position my units more so, like, spread out a little bit so they don't get the Vex ult everything, and then, like, a little bit closer over. Here, because I'm prize fighter, I got another component. Every 5 wins, you basically get a component. So I basically 10 streaked this whole game, very high roll game, and as you can see, I got an extra glove. Now, in terms of my item slams, I think there is some optimization here, which I'm a little bit concerned about. So I made a Hodge. I don't think I should have made a Hand of Justice, right? On my Ziggs, I think that was not a good slam. Now, I think I had to slam something, but I think I should have slammed JG, Jewel Gauntlet instead. So I have an open rod, right? Like, if you look at my components here, I have open rod. What I want to do is I want to keep open belt and I want to keep open tier, because those are guaranteed components that I can play around pretty easily on both Echo, Rumble, and Gangplank, and Corki, right? All of those can work out to be good items on all of them, because the tiers instantly turn into a Hand of Justice on, what's his name? They instantly turn into a Hand of Justice on Echo and Rumble late game, and then the belts turn into a guard breaker on Gangplank and Corki respectively. So making a Hand of Justice seems a bit of a throw, because if I made a Jewel Gauntlet, then I could have had Jewel Gauntlet, Hand of Justice, which I know Echo does have built-in ambusher traits, so it doesn't matter. But effectively, I think it would work out a little bit better here, because now what am I going to do? I'm going to have double Hodge on Echo. Here I'm just rolling really aggressively. I'm 4-1 rolling because I am really strong and I want to keep this win streak. So I'm trying my best to stabilize. I should put this Elise forward one because my Echo is going to get caught first. I'm also really slow. I didn't slam any of my items. Okay, so that was just a poorly played round, right? I took way too long meandering. I needed to slam my components, right? Even if I don't finish rolling here, I need to slam all my components because now I just don't get scrap value. See, I would have had, with this many components, I would have had like twice as much scrap value. And I just didn't get it. Oh my god, and now that, oh god, that's not good, because now I didn't slam my items fast enough and my Echo died. I wanted to make Protector's Vow on Echo probably, because I just like Protector's Vow. Oh, now I'm gonna have a thing. I'm gonna have a Crown Guard because the scrap component's gonna change. Yeah, look how close this fight is. This might be the reason I don't win the game. This was a monumental throw in this game. So, like, taking this round and not playing it fast enough, I think I was just trying to roll really deep to guarantee, like, an Echo 2 and guarantee as many copies of the 4-cost units as possible. But not slamming all of these components, just horrible. Here, so Pandora's isn't that great. It's a little bit too slow. Belt Overflow is fine, but I feel like I have enough front line. So I'm basically looking for combat here. Oh, I should just take Scrap Emblem. Do I take Call to Chaos? Okay, here's the thing, right? Call to Chaos has a chance of me winning the game on the spot. And I think I just take Call to Chaos here. I probably take Call to Chaos. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. I don't know which is better. This is a hard pick. I think Scrap Emblem is more safe. Call to Chaos is more swingy. What do I get from Call to Chaos? I'm curious. Oh, I just get infinite gold. Okay, it wasn't that good. That's not that good. Now I just go straight to 9, but I'm going to throw this stage then. I have to roll. I need to hit Echo 2 or Corky 2 probably. Yeah, this random Steadfast was just because I didn't slam my items fast enough. So now I just have awkward items here. But at least it's a glove item, so I synergize with the Echo pretty well. And then now I slam all my components like a dumbass a turn late. Look at me. The slam of shame. Me slamming my items a turn later. Look at this. It's pathetic. Also, this Echo shouldn't be taking frontal damage here. I need to move the Elise up 1 square because I don't want the Echo to take first interaction because the Echo is going to be the main carry for a while now. I only have 1 remover as well, so I can't even fix my Echo items pretty easy. I can't even fix my Echo items easily. Okay, so Call to Chaos. The reason it's an instant win, so I'll show you guys here so you guys understand. Let's go to tables. I'm double checking when Anomaly round is. It's not going to be for a while. So let's go to Call to Chaos. There should be a thing. Call to Chaos, right? So I got this one, right? I got 58 gold. The experience is fine because I could just go fast 9. This one's not so good, but it's okay. But all of these other ones are really... the refresh... like, basically all of these 4 are not that good. But these ones are all pretty good. Maybe Thieves' Gloves isn't, but... 3 Snipers is fine. They work as components. 3 Hull Crushers is really good. I can just put them on a front line, just have a Giga unit. Itemized Dummy is pretty good. Itemized Dummy is pretty good because I'm placing all my units in a row anyways. So this gives me a bunch of armor and this gives me a bunch of attack speed. So both of these are really strong. Thieves' Gloves works as like extra components to slam, right? Each of these is 2 components. So I can put these all on my non-scrap units. We might run out of spots for all my items, but it's not the worst. This one's the instant win. The emblems. So each of these emblems counts as components for scrap. So you just get a bunch of emblems, which you have the potential to hit some things that are game winning, right? There's so many synergies on the board, right? Look at the board. Artillerist, Dominator, Enforcer, Firelight, Pit Fighter, Ambusher, Forms Stopper, there isn't one, Bruiser, Scrap. There's so many things I can play here. So the emblems, you actually have a really good chance with 5 emblems to hit at least 1 or 2 of them that actually synergize with the scrap board in the first place. It's why something like Trait Tracker is broken. If you ever see this, this is something you can do to just instantly win the game, by the way, right? Trait Tracker into scrap is broken. It's the same as like a lot of these things that work on components. This is the same tech that existed last set with Sugarcraft, right? It's basically like you just take Trait Tracker. It gives you 8, as soon as you activate 8 traits, you get 6 random emblems. These random emblems count as scrap components. You get like infinite shield with this, plus the additional emblems that also synergize with the board pretty nicely a lot of the time. Because you have so many traits in. You can use Sentinel, you can use Bruiser, you can use Ambusher, you can use Artillerist, you can use Dominator, you can use Enforcer. Well, Dominator is a little bit like meh, like I'm kind of memeing a little bit, but you can use Pit Fighter, you can use Firelight. Like there's so many things you can do with it that you're bound to hit something. Now I want to see here what I did here. So I leveled to 9 this turn. Let's see if my gold was good here. So I got Call to Chaos, I got a bunch of gold. The problem with a bunch of gold, chat or like YouTube audience, is that I don't really need that much gold. That's what I was saying, it was really risky. If I took Scrap Emblem, it's 2 components, which is gonna get value. I just get a whole other item, so it spikes my board, and it makes my board a little bit more flexible because I can drop the Zigs and I can play some other units that are a little bit more powerful, right? Basically with Scrap, now I can play like a 5 cost that benefits from the Scrap Shield. So a Scrap Emblem was definitely better. Call to Chaos, I'm basically just playing for like, you know, a 10 to 20%, like maybe like a 30% chance of winning the game, right? Like 3 of the Call to Chaos cash outs felt like an instant win, and the other ones were kind of just meh. Also, I was talking again, I didn't see properly. So how much gold do I have here? I think I go 9 too fast right now, right? Like how much gold is this that I'm rolling? I'm 60 gold. I'm rolling 40 gold. Actually, it's not that bad. Okay, so it's perfect interval here. I'm rolling like 26. Do I not know how to math? I had 60 gold. Oh, it's 60 minus 40. It's only 20 gold. Yeah. I should have probably waited 2 turns. I think my board is strong enough for this stage to wait 2 turns in order to go 9. So I think I just blew my load too fast. I'm looking for a rumble, basically. The earlier I find a rumble, the better. Because as soon as you find a rumble, you can start getting upgrades on the rumble. So it's critical. Also, I still have a steb on my board. Why do I still have a steb on my board? Just get rid of the steb. I can play artillerist. Huh? Oh, God. This is where things fall apart. Yeah, just play anybody instead of the steb. I could play another ambusher instead of steb. I think I probably, honestly, the chances are I'm streaming and I forgot that I even have the steb on my board. Like, just the same way now I wasn't looking at him. He's kind of just nestled in between all the scrap units, and he's the same, like, color scheme as the scrap units. I probably just forgot that it's a steb. And that's probably just my bad. I should win this either way because my Gangplank still has his shield up. Yeah, Gangplank just does insane amounts of damage. Gangplank did the most damage there, but my positioning is really bad in these fights. So, like, I always blame myself streaming because a lot of times I'm just talking to chat. So, a lot of, like, the nitty-gritty stuff I just don't do, right? Like, I'm not scouting and specifically positioning for opponents and stuff, which is pretty bad. Power Absorption, Legacy of Shurima is pretty good. I'd take that for Echo, probably. I don't know how good it is, but it's probably good enough, is what I would say, right? Let's see what my other options were. Attack damage, no. I want something for Echo here. 50% max health doesn't matter that much, but the 60% attack speed is pretty good. And just making sure the Echo lives a little bit longer, I think it's good enough, is what I would say. With as much gold as I have, I'm not playing super greedy. Okay, so basically, my Prismatic didn't work out at all, because my Prismatic didn't get me a Rumble. And I basically have a Prismatic, and I'm just level 9, 0 gold now. Right, and as you can see, I'm rolling for this Rumble and this Corki. Basically, I'm rolling, the reason I'm rolling so much, chat, is because I can hit Rumble, or I can hit Corki, because I'm Corki paired. So it's fine to play both. Also, it's probably to play Jinx over Jace, just to get the Ambusher synergy on my Echo. I'm using a lot of removers, is what I will say. Because I'm gonna lack some removers here. I should put Spark on Echo. So that's another optimization. Okay, so let's go through all the mistakes, right? Let's go through all the mistakes. I'm getting a bit lost because I'm seeing so much. I'm panicking of how bad I play. So let's go through all the mistakes. Number 1. Call to Chaos, risky play. There was a 30% chance that I win the game with it, but there's a 70% chance I don't win the game with it, so taking scrap would have been a little bit more reliable. Mistake number 2, I went to level 9 too fast. I should have waited until the end of this stage to go 9, because going 9 I don't think is going to make me that much stronger, and even though it's Warwick's Hunger, you don't have to be this strong, because I have 90 HP. I was 90 HP, 60 gold, now I'm 90 HP, 0 gold, I still have no rumbles. I kind of rushed it because I value Rumble a lot, but as you can see, I'm winning most of these fights in a very convincing manner. So I probably would have been fine to just level next turn, and then I would have had like 50 or 60 gold to roll for Rumble. And instead, I'm at 10 gold level 9, so everybody else is going to catch up. Basically, I threw. That's the throw that's probably going to make me go second. I don't think I go first with that type of throw, because my Prismatic, while it's a Prismatic, is basically effectively done nothing for me. What did this Prismatic do? It gave me a Lowy 2, and it gave me a Lease 2. That's it. Because effectively, other people are going to be in the same spot as me, except they're going to be with an extra Prismatic Augment now. That's what I'm trying to say, right? The extra gold that I got, it didn't get me anything. Like, I didn't roll on level 9. I don't have Rumble 2. I don't have Jace 2. I don't have some upgraded legendary unit. I don't even have Rumble early. And I kind of threw it because I misplayed my position. I thought maybe that I had enough gold to roll. I thought that it was enough. You really shouldn't roll on level 9 unless you have like around 50 gold. Like, there's no reason to go that fast unless you're in dire straits. So I kind of rushed it, and I don't think that was a good idea. Now I'm in the spot where my board isn't capping very high, because I'm a little bit behind, right? I'm going to make this Jinx 2 because it's a Jinx 2, but it's a little bit awkward. Also, 3 Ambusher is just a huge spike for the other guy. I finally find a Rumble. He goes in over Jace over Ziggs for sure. And now I have Corki 2. I need to make Rumble items here. I would probably make a BT. Yeah. I just don't have removers, the problem. Like, I want to get, like, Echo with Spark is so much better than Echo with Steadfast. This Steadfast from that mistake slam that I did a lot of, like, a couple turns earlier is just really bad. Because I'd like to swap the items a little bit. Like, it's fine to have, like, I think my Echo items are just bad, right? I had the potential this game to have, Jewel Gauntlet, Hodge, +1. And instead I have Hodge, Steadfast. It's like my echo items are very low cap. Hodge is good for Omnivam, but it's not that good for like damage. Like I have no strong damage item on Echo. Additionally, I don't have a strong damage item on Corki, right? Corki has open tier, or sorry, open sword, which isn't really making a strong damage item all the time. IE, and then I have this Gwinsu that I had from early game. So what I need now is I need like 3 or 4 removers. That's what I really need. Because let's say I want to cap out this board, right? Let's pause. And let's say, how should I have capped out this board if I wanted to be a good player instead of being an absolute fool, right? What's the way to cap out the board? The way to cap out the board, Gwinsu isn't that bad on Gangplank. It's a lot better on Gangplank than it is on Corki. I should swap Gwinsu and Red Buff to make the Corki do a little bit more damage, or I put Gwinsu on Gangplank and I have Red Buff Gwinsu open item on Gangplank and I play around that. Because I have tier on Gangplank is fine because he's just helping him to cast more, but if I put Gwinsu, it's one or the other, whatever, right? Long story short, whatever, who cares? So that's one thing. Second, I have this open belt now that's on Rumble. If I could, I would like to put the belt on the Corki, because if I put the belt on the Corki, it always turns into a guard breaker, and if I make a guard breaker, then I have full crit on Corki, and it's gonna help him out, right? Increase the crit chance to make sure his ult crits. So I want to put belt. So let's keep track. I want to put belt on Corki. I want to put Gwinsu off of Corki. I want to put Spark on Echo because the Steadfast, who the fuck cares about Steadfast? Or I want to put some other component, some AP item on Echo to make him do some more damage. So I need like 4 removers here. I need to rearrange everybody's items. The way that this shuffled out looks to me like if I looked at this board and you didn't tell me it was myself, I would say this person panicked and didn't take more than 2 seconds to convert their winning position. They had a winning position. Their board is extremely strong. They have a decent selection of augments. Call to Chaos is a bit iffy, but I understand that's for a win condition, right? I was just trying to play for a first tier. But I look at this board, and what I see is somebody who threw the game from a winning position by not taking a couple of seconds extra to properly allocate the resources. Because everything's there. My items are good. They're just not in the right spots. And that's really important. So if you're looking at your board, always try and obviously a lot of it is just like I have to be strong, I have to do this. Like I'm thinking about a lot of stuff, and I'm also streaming, so like when I'm streaming, I'm talking to chat, I'm saying, hey, this is because of this is because of that. I say, hey, I'm doing this because of this, like the same way, there's multiple things on my mind, right? I'm reading chat, I'm answering chat, so that doesn't help either. Not to blame chat, I'm just saying it's just something that always adds to the workload because I just want to say it. But that's what I see in this game, right? So as much of it was high roll, I still think Scrap is good enough as a comp that I'm not getting punished for everything that I'm doing, but I can definitely rearrange everything that I have on my board in order to be a lot stronger. Like this guy, for example. This guy has a LeBlanc, and he's level 8, 50 gold. He's going to go very slow to level 9. I think that unless I can stall out to get enough removers to fix my items, I think this Sork player is going to beat me. Like, I'm looking at this Sork player's board. I think the Sork player will beat me because the Sork player is level 8. They have a lot of resources, and they probably have duplicators. You get duplicators with Warwick's Hunger. That person has 61 HP. I'm at 90 HP. They're going to live, right? They're going to live late into the game because they're one of the high rollers in the Warwick encounter. So now that there's this high roller that I'm fighting against, if they get LeBlanc too, and they get all of the other stuff, and I hit Rumble too. This is going to be so sad when I don't go first. It's all because of my items. 100%. It's 100% because of my items. So, like, that Sork player, if they hit Swain 3, LeBlanc 2, their item allocation and their augment allocation is way better than mine, that I don't think I'll have the damage to deal with them. Right now, I'm relying so much on having so much frontline, but because my Rumble, I got it relatively late, the Rumble won't scale hard enough to solo carry, and the rest of my units won't have enough damage to deal with Swain 3 frontline and then LeBlanc just deleting everybody. So if I have to look at somebody's board, I'll say very clearly, I think the Sork player is going to outcap me. And that's just because I messed up in my own game. And it's important to recognize these things because it doesn't not matter whether you place top 4 or not. What matters is if you actually played well and if you can realize your mistakes, which is what I'm doing right here, right? So now next time I play Scrap, I'm going to try and spend a little bit more time arranging my components in a better way because I know what the better components are. I just clearly didn't do it here. Just the way that I slammed items in my mid game and the way that I was tempoing around my units, I didn't give myself enough time to properly use my removers in order to actually convert the items onto the right units to maximize my damage output. So hopefully that makes sense, right? The same way I always say to myself, damn, he's good, and I like to say that I did well in a game, it's also important to also say when you did bad things, because that's learning. Yeah, now I have Gunblade. Why did I take Gunblade? What was on Carousel? I need a Rumble item. I already have Bloodthirster. Is there nothing else? I should have probably taken Adaptive Helm here. I think Adaptive Helm probably a little bit better. Adaptive Helm or IE, honestly. IE might have been nice. I should have just taken IE here. Oh no, I don't get a chance to take IE. There's a Sentinel Emblem. There's a Protector's Vow. I take Gunblade. It's debatable if it's okay. I should have taken, I think I should have taken Adaptive. I think Adaptive, giving it a little bit more AP would have been a bit better. Rumble upgrade is great here. Like moving the Steadfast. I might just leave the Steadfast now. I think Gunblade's probably better on Rumble here. Yeah, it's probably better on Rumble. Rumble's gonna do more damage than the Echo, but the Echo is just my anomaly, so I definitely want to have the Echo living as much as possible. I should have... I made a Titans here because I had an extra component. I should have probably just put the extra component on Jinx. Also, I have a Jinx 2 with no items. I don't know if it's better to... I should probably move the Gangplank items onto Jinx. I forgot about the Jinx 2, but I don't think the Jinx is that reliable because I want to have Rumble items and I want to have the scrap conversions. So it's hard to justify putting items. But most people can't deal with the front line. The only comp that I think can outburst me is the LeBlanc. Right? I genuinely think if that guy hits LeBlanc too, like right now what I should be doing is I should be griefing. I should be holding every single goddamn LeBlanc. Okay, he hit LeBlanc 2 already. I think it's GG. I think I can't beat LeBlanc 2 here. Like, it's not because of the strength of my board. It's because I just don't have the units in the right spot. Like, I'm pretty sure... Or, sorry, the items in the right spots. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, my units and my items are fine. They're just not in the right spots for anybody. This guy, he doesn't have Swain 3. Maybe I can beat him without a Swain 3. I need LeBlanc to stun... I need Elise to stun LeBlanc. And then I need to make it to, like, Jinx items, I think. But I think I'm just too far. Oh, no. He has 6 Swains. This guy's going to hit, probably. Oh, no. And Elise is going to stun everybody. I might lose this fight. He has so much burst. Like, watch this. Watch this. Ready? LeBlanc's going to cast. My whole board's going to die. Yeah, it's so obvious. It's so obvious when you watch it. It's obvious when you watch it and you're not, like, playing the game. Isn't that crazy? It's so easy to look at myself and be like, okay, that's why I didn't go first. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm watching? I'm like, hey, how did I go first this game? This game looks like a high roll. It's like, yeah, because I'm a fucking idiot. Like, look at this shit. It's so easy. It's so easy when you're watching somebody. Man, it's so hard when you're playing the game. Okay, so I think I go second here for sure now. I have Guard Breaker. I have 1 remover. Honestly, I think I just have to go all in on Rumble items and just, like, abandon the Echo, I guess. Because this Rumble is probably doing more damage anyways. Especially if I get 1 more upgrade. I'm going to live till 1 more upgrade. I don't think I live till 2 more upgrades. Okay, Rumble there did nothing. I don't know. It's hard to say. I can go 10 in a turn or 2. Rabadons. Oh, you're so dumb. Just click it. Yes. Oh, thank God. Oh, I was gonna have an aneurysm. I thought it was over. Oh my God, I was about to close this YouTube channel. Why was I even thinking? Okay, Rabadon's Echo, good. My Echo items are fixed now. 1 down, 3 more to go. I have 3 more units that I have to fix the items for. Oh my God, when I put it like that. Okay, so I want Belt on Corki, Guinso on somebody else. We need Jinx items eventually. I've had Jinx 2 forever. She's just there to help. She's just there to buff the Echo, I guess. Do I lose against this? My Echo got bursted down, that's why. So this was just bad positioning. I think I beat this guy if my Echo didn't get target fired by both the Heimer and the Jace instantly. So it's just a bit rough. But I don't think he's going to outcap me. I think I'm still going to beat him late game. Yeah. I'm level 10 now. I'm just looking for a 6 cost basically, or like another 5 cost. I found a Victor. I'm still going to lose to the Sork player. That's the problem. Like, I'm pretty sure Sork, that guy, he didn't win streak the whole game, right? But you don't have to win streak the whole game. right? I one-streaked the whole game, but I threw, right? My last Augment is pretty useless because the gold didn't really convert to anything besides me making it to level 10 here, which isn't that important. And the item quality, like the rearrangement of the items is really bad. Like, I think I can win if I had better allocation of items. But look at this guy. He has LeBlanc 2, Swain 3, Vlad 2. It's like, It's not gonna work. Also, is this previous patch? Because it looks like he's playing 8 Sork. It might be previous patch. This might be like a day before the new patch, maybe. I'm unsure how old this VOD is. But either way, it works the same way nowadays. Yeah, it's 8 Sork. Sorry, this VOD's a little bit older, but it's the same thing. Scrap wasn't changed from last patch to this patch. Just Sork is a little bit weaker. Sorry, Sork is a little bit stronger at 6 Sork instead of having to play around 8 Sork. So my apologies that it's a little bit less relevant. But man, like, look, it's gonna be a very hard second here. And I think the fights are going to be relatively close if I position well. I need Elise on same side as the LeBlanc, because I want the Elise to basically just jump. Echo can't be on same side as the LeBlanc here, I don't think. It's actually fine. I'm on opposite side of Zoe. He's just not really doing any damage. Victor's cast. Swain's still alive, but that's fine. Corky's still alive. Yeah, look how close it is. They're all very low HP. If I can find a way to get my Echo to live a little bit longer and have the Elise stun the backline, we're totally back. Also, like, maybe I could have worked around Jinx items a little bit. Like, how much damage is Corky doing? Should I be putting the Corky items on Jinx? That's the part that I don't know. That's the part that I'm not sure about, because it's a Jinx too. But the Corky items, like, I get scrap value. Like, I think now I should probably change them. Yeah, I think now I should change them. Now I have good Jinx items, I think. Right? Yeah, I put Last Whisper here. Oh, if I could play double Rumble, that would be really good as well. Double Rumble or double Echo is probably good. Mel might be good sometimes. No. Put her back. Oh, God. I think I'm just trying stuff because I know that I'm beat. Okay, so what I want is double Rumble or double Echo is gonna win. It's gonna be game winning. I should put all the Corky items onto Jinx, because I don't think this Corky item is gonna do as much burst as Jinx, and all I really care about is killing the backline. So if I can kill the backline with this Jinx, especially with the Victor, the Jinx is gonna get her cast off. Yeah, Jinx died here. She didn't get her cast off, so that's why the fight looks way worse. Okay, so now I should, if I want to cap out this board, okay, let's pause next screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So, what do I want here? I want to play double Echo if I can. I shouldn't have sold Alawi. I think that was just a panic. I should move the IE and maybe the Gwynsu or the red buff. Some arrangement of these items should be on Jinx, because now I should prioritize 3 items on Jinx. Because this against this guy, Jinx like doesn't get her cast off early enough. Because like it's just kind of awkward. Like, he has a lot of burst damage and has a lot of backline access. So as much as I have infinite frontline with Scrap, I would like to have Jinx damage and position more around the Jinx trying to snipe the backline. Because between Jinx, Echo, and Elise, and Victor, I should be able to stall long enough for a Jinx cast as long as I don't get her targeted first. And I should be able to do some chip damage in the form of both Rumble and Echo, so that the combination of Rumble, Echo, and Jinx, I might be able to kill LeBlanc or at least Zoe. So I need to position around that. I have to pick one of the main threats, target it, and play around that. So in order to do that, this Corky is just trying to burst down this Swain. The Swain's always going to live. I need to play more towards scamming, right? So I want to make sure that my Jinx has triple item. Maybe I play like a 4 or 5 ambusher even to make sure that Jinx just absolutely bombs everybody. And that's how I should pivot this board a little bit. So you're going to see what I do here, and it's probably going to be dog shit because I know what kind of player I am, and I've probably already resolved to the fact that I'm losing. But yeah, like, what does it matter that I'm level 10? I have a Victor 1. You know what I mean? I should be selling units, rearranging them such that I put the like if I can snipe the backline and bypass this Swain, I think I can win. So what I really should have done here is I should have sold my units to play something like 5 ambusher. It gives the Echo the durability so he won't just die instantly, and I should put triple item on Jinx. See, like, I tried to do it. It's like, you can see that the gears were starting to turn. I just wasn't fast enough. Obviously, I can't pause the round like I did here to explain what I'm doing. but the gears were turning, but they didn't turn fast enough. So look, Jinx is going to get her cast off, but it's not going to kill anybody because my Echo already died, and my positioning wasn't perfect, right? Actually, she just died before the cast. Yeah. Pretty poor last couple rounds. Pretty poor in general gameplay, but it was still a second. But anyways, that's the scrap board. I pointed out a lot of the mistakes that I was talking about, right? What's the main thing that you want when you're playing this board? You have so much frontline, you want damage, right? So prioritize damage on the units, right? I would always put a tier on Echo. If you saw there, I had a glove on Echo. It wasn't that great. Tier will guarantee that you get a Jewel Gauntlet. It's something like a Rabadon's, obviously really strong. Stuff like this, just damage amp with the crit chance. I should have itemized a little bit more towards the Jinx at the end. That's another point of contention that I could have gone and I could have gone to first. And then I also should have played like less around Corki, because Corki at one point kind of falls off. He's never really the main damage dealer when you're playing Scrap, except when you're early game. So I should have moved items onto Jinx, right? I could have had IE red buff on Jinx, 100% crit chance and a lot of crit damage, right? As well as damage amp. Right, I should have rearranged these items like this. I could have rearranged my items a little bit better on Rumble as well, which would have helped me out a little bit. And then I could also stack in some more ambushers, because basically 3 ambusher is a huge spike, but 4 ambusher isn't that big, but 5 ambusher also gives durability. So I could have played some variation on level 10 where I can easily fit in 5 ambusher instead of playing like the auxiliary units. Alawi wasn't really tanking, so I tried removing her just for gold. I was trying to transition last round to try and get like a Rumble 2 or an Echo 2, but I just didn't hit the Rumble 2. It was a little bit sloppy. I should have kept Alawi in for maybe one more turn. I was just trying to sell her for econ because I was trying to go all in on the last round. That's why it looked really weird when I sold her, but it was just because I was trying to like, okay, I just want to go all in last round, so let me just make my econ good and roll really aggressively here, because I want to play a double Rumble 2, and I think that would have helped me. But I should have played more to scam the back line. Just not having my items on the right spots, right? This Echo for the longest time was like Hodge, Steadfast, because of just poor item management, poor item slams. Like this just doesn't cut it, right? And the same with my Rumble. My Rumble, you want more damage, and my Rumble had all survivability. So what happens when I fight a burst person? It just kills it instantly. I want like Jewel Gauntlet. I want like really strong items here. So that's why like early game, a lot of times, like that's what I was saying. I should have made a Jewel Gauntlet earlier, because even if you don't like it on Echo, this is massively more damage because you just guarantee the crit and it just gives a bunch of AP, and then whoop whoop, you just put on the dude later, and you cap out your board that way. So anyways, that is to say, hopefully this was an enjoyable scrap game. I had to take today off because I was really busy going outside, so hopefully you learned something in the game. I know it won't be the appealing content for everybody, but it's really important just to like point out everything along my journey. I also review my losses. I'm going to post another one maybe tomorrow on members only content, so if you want to see me actually go through a loss, it's very similar to this, except there's like even more mistakes, and sometimes there's even less mistakes, but it's just a matter of like identifying these things so that we can improve and get a little bit better at the game. Second place plus 26, GG. That's some LP for us. Thank you for watching, have a great day, and see ya. Bye bye.